You know, it's real interesting because you could always kind of tell when somebody's about to do a right-wing grift. There's always signs that lead up to it. So one I was actually wrong on was Don Lemon. It looked there for a minute like he was going to do a right-wing grift, but he did an about-face and started going more in a left-wing direction. But another one that the signs were there, it was Chris Cuomo. Because Chris Cuomo got in bed with the PBD guys. And the PBD guys, I mean, you know, Valuetainment and Patrick Bet-David. And these guys are like, you know, they pretend like they're sort of apolitical business type people, but then they suck off Trump 24/7. Well, Chris Cuomo, you know, got in league with them. I think he works with them. He also has this show on News Nation that roughly 7 people watch on a good night. And here, the mask just comes off. So he's going to go on this just emotional tirade against Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and seemingly take a shot at Bernie Sanders here too. And I don't know, you tell me, you try to make sense of what he's saying here. Let's watch.
You are usually desperate for attention. Why so quiet? Are you worried your fellow socialists who don't think Israel has a right to exist will be upset if you speak truth about Iran being an absolute enemy?
Oh my God. He's trying to prod AOC to say we need to go to war with Iran. Look at the chyron here. Iran, we will attack any country that defends Israel. So Chris Cuomo is trying to pretend like Iran is the aggressor here, like it wasn't Israel that threw the first punch, like it wasn't Israel that lied about Iran's nuclear capabilities every step of the way.
Are you worried your fellow socialists who don't think Israel has a right to exist will be upset if you speak truth about Iran being an absolute enemy? If you're a feminist, how do you not decry the fact that Iran would jail you for how you speak, for how you dress?
They're literally doing the same arguments they used against Afghanistan and Iraq. The Taliban, they're against gay people. They're against women. They want them to cover up. So obviously we need to go to war with them and topple that country completely. Look at the logical leap. So you have an issue with their domestic and social policies. Therefore, regime change. Okay, but Saudi Arabia also has horrific policies when it comes to gays and women. Are you calling for the overthrow of Saudi Arabia? This is bullshit. This is what's called pinkwashing. Right? It's the idea that you can talk about the social policies of a country or domestic policies of a country and use that as a rationalization and a justification to do an illegal and offensive war against them. And he's prodding AOC to, why aren't you in favor of war with Iran? Why aren't you calling out Iran on a daily basis? AOC, to her credit, immediately signed on to the attempt to block the war with Iran. Why? Because that's the right thing to do. Iran doesn't have a nuclear weapon. They weren't trying to build a nuclear weapon, and Israel threw the first fucking punch. Netanyahu has wanted this war since the 80s, you lying scoundrel.
Iran would jail you for how you speak, for how you dress, that they would slaughter your LGBTQ plus constituents.
Oh my
Now
God.
is not the time for silence or acquiescence, nor certainly any perverse obeisance to a terror organization.
Oh my God. You want to talk about obeisance to a terror organization? You support Israel, the country that's been live streaming a genocide for over a year. Maybe you're the one who supports a terror organization, you fucking hack.
Even Senator Bernie Sanders, I'm surprised, calling Israel's attack illegal, says it hurts negotiations. What negotiations? Isn't he on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee? You really think Iran is going to ever let people check their abilities?
What? They did. Obama made a deal with him. John Kerry made a deal with them. The idea was, hey, we'll give you back your own money and we'll lift the sanctions if you let the IAEA regulate your nuclear facilities and you're only allowed to enrich so that you can have power for your power grid and that you can do scientific research. They were abiding by it perfectly. So it was checked. You know who doesn't let the IAEA check their nukes? Israel, because they have illegal nuclear weapons. Why do you talk about shit you don't know fucking anything about, Chris Cuomo? You literally don't know the first thing about what you're talking about. Oh my God, bro.
You really think Iran is going to ever let people check their abilities? They are, I know, the senator knows this, but he's not living it with his politics. They want to kill Bernie. As a Jew, as an American.
Oh my God. I can't. The country that just waged an illegal and offensive attack against Iran, they're the good guys. The ones who threw the first punch, the ones who lied repeatedly, they're the good guys.
Protests are not really just about ICE. They are a coordinated...
Oh, so now he's going after ICE protests?
Jew, as an American, telling you these protests are not really just about ICE. They are a coordinated effort to recruit as many people and different types of groups that may have different ideas, but they all share a common goal: destroying the West, democracy, our country. This is the fundamentalist threat playing out.
No, the anti-ICE protests are about, hey, stop arresting innocent people, deporting innocent people with no criminal record. Stop grabbing 2-year-old and 4-year-old and 6-year-old American citizens and deporting them, including a 4-year-old with fucking cancer. Stop arresting a woman from the hospital bed immediately after she gave birth. Stop sending over 200 people to a concentration camp in El Salvador, people who don't even have a criminal record, and you use their mom and dad tattoo as evidence that they're in a gang. That's what this is about. Why are you raiding Home Depots? Why are you raiding hair salons? Why are you raiding 7-Elevens? Why are you raiding farms to go after farm workers who don't hurt anybody and don't have any fucking criminal record? But the anti-ICE protests are about hating democracy and hating the West? No, hating democracy is what Trump does, what the right does. That's what they're doing right now. Are you fucking kidding me? This is a guy who literally said, I should be a king. What are we talking about? This is a guy, they blew off a number of court rulings. That's incredibly fascist, incredibly dictatorial. That is not democratic at all. We have checks and balances in a democracy. And he somehow linked this to fundamentalists at the end? Are you trying to link, Islamic extremism to the anti-ICE protests? What the fuck is he saying?
Democracy, our country. This is the fundamentalist threat playing out.
The fundamentalist threat. What the fuck does that have to do with anti-ICE protests? What a disgusting, vile, demented smear merchant this guy is. Holy shit. The anti-ICE protests are correct. They're the ones standing up for the Constitution. They took away due process, Chris Cuomo. Now they rip people off the streets and disappear them, and there's no hearing, there's no judge, there's no checking whether or not this is the right person. And how does it tie to fundamentalists? Please explain that to me. What the fuck does that have? Taking down the West, taking down democracy. Jesus Christ, bro. The anti-ICE protests are right, and the people who are against the war with Iran are right. This is what happens when you try to do the right-wing grift, right? He dipped his toe in the water, then he went further and further and further, because I'm sure every time he's gone on that PBD podcast and he says anything that's vaguely liberal or centrist or left-wing, it's fuck this guy, we hate this guy, yada yada. Well, now he's like, okay, I'll just give them what they want. I'll go full fucking deranged right-wing hack. Rant against anti-ICE protests. Say that anti-ICE protests are against democracy when it's literally for democracy, for rule of law, for protecting communities and innocent people. God damn it. What a disgusting person he is. What a disgusting fucking person he is. So enjoy that right-wing pivot, because you're doing it at the worst possible time as the right fucking implodes on itself and Trump becomes objectively the worst president in American history. Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.